We're going to start a new project here, and we're going to create this sort of steampunk, old-fashioned lab lamp. All right, and I'm going to provide this image, and I think this one here, just with different views. Now, this is actually going to be tilted back. This whole section here is going to tilt backwards, but I didn't do that in this image. We'll save that for later on. Some of these pieces may change a little bit. In particular, I think the main one is going to be the lamp here, all right, and maybe this wheel, but otherwise we're just going to follow this. Okay, so this is reference one, and I think I'll bring that into Blender, and we'll model against this. A couple of interesting pieces to do, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So here we go. Alright, so there it is. I'm going to press S3. That's probably good enough. And just press G to grab or go, whatever it is, and move this up. And you see it's an empty. You can turn it on and turn it off. Make sure it's selected. Press 3, look from the side, and pull it back a ways. And we're going to model against this. And we may deviate to some extent, but we'll see. Alright, so let's see how centered that is by bringing in a circle, and let's make this 18 vertices. Go into edit mode, and I like to press 1 for vertex selection and scale it out. I think that's probably going to be pretty good. Alright, something like that. Okay, let's press E to extrude, pull it up, and then let's see, does it come in a little bit? It's hard to tell. Let's come in a little. Let's go in a wireframe. Let's come in a little bit on this E and S and come in. And then let's come up. And we'll scale it in like that. All right, we'll come in again. And we'll extrude up. And we'll scale it in again. I might Control plus and scale Shift Z to scale, but not in the Z. Deselect and then Shift Alt and click there again and just pull it up a bit. Let's come in again. E and S, come in like that. E, come up. They're all scaled in, aren't they? Pretty much. And then E and S, come in. We'll just go straight up here. A little off the diagram. Let's Control plus. Scale Shift Z and pull it in a bit. And then we're up to here. Now, this part you can't really see, but what it does is it comes in, E and S, and then it comes down like that, and scales in, and it's sort of rounded. You don't even really need to close it off. So there's our base. Now, we're going to be using a lot of subdivision surfaces, and some people don't like that. They're modeling for games, and other people don't care. Let's go ahead and bevel that just a little bit. Control B. I'm going to pull like that, and then I'm going to roll my mouse up once. Make it a bit wider so it's a bit softer. Let's go Control 2, shade smooth. And we're going to have to put a few more edge loops in here to tighten it up. So I'm going to bring an edge loop down here, not too tight. An edge loop down here, down here. We're going to come up. Let's see what that's starting to look like. I do want it relatively soft. Yeah, like that. And then I'm going to come up here. Look, we can always touch these things up later. Well, let's start with that. It's a good start. And then we have this piece. All right, and I think what I'll do is I'll use a circle to do that. I've got one selected, doesn't matter which one. I'm going to Shift D to duplicate it, pull it up, S to scale, get roughly the size, and then break it out, P and enter, and break it out. So now I have that. And I'm going to shut off the subdivision, just turn it off, it's still there. And I got that. Okay. Let's bring this down to about here for the moment, and E to extrude and pull it up to there. I think that actually at this point I'm going to pull it down. So I've got that. Okay. I'm going to cap the ends. I'm going to select that edge. I have to make a face and go back in object mode and slash key to isolate it. And I'm going to do the same here. And then 3 for face selection. I'm going to select that face and this face. Actually, I do want to be able to see the diagram. So I'm going to go back in and in wireframe. And now I'm going to Control B and I'm going to pull until I get around the shape. I'm going to roll my mouse up a few times, make it nice and smooth, like that. And let's go into solid view and see that. Turn on subdivision surface. That'll shrink it a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, and let's shade smooth. And let's look at this in wireframe. We need to make a cut down here somewhere. I think I can, let's turn that off for the moment. I can put an edge loop in there. Control B, pull, roll my mouse back to 0 though. So I just have the 2 edges on the up vertically. Just make a space and then E and Alt S, and I'm going to push, I guess. Just see which way it goes in. Let's look at that. With the subdivision on. And I'm going to bring in some edge loops. I'm going to bring one up here. And I'm going to bring one down here. Now my wife's coming down with the kids, so I'm going to do that. And now I'm going to look here and see what else needs to be done. All right. One thing I know I need to do is I'm going to take this here and I'm going to extrude it down. And I'm just going to bring another edge loop up here to make something like that. Maybe I'll go a little deeper than that. Or, you know what? Maybe on the other hand, I'll just do that. So there was something on the end there. Okay, at this point, what I'm going to do, I just want to have another look at this. Yeah, it's going to be all right. Yeah, we're going to leave it like that. I'm going to work on this part here. All right, the pipe-like piece. Okay, so let's see if I can grab an edge loop. Yeah, all right, we'll grab this one just to bring my 3D cursor there. Close enough. All right, I'm going to do this with a plane. Going to edit mode 1, M, merge at center. So I have 1 point. I'm going to pull it down. No, you can't see it, so I'm just going to pull it out and position it roughly where I want it. Now I'm going to E to extrude, and I'm going to come out to about here. I'll start this going up so we can see what we're doing. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to pull it through this side. And go into wireframe. All right, it's going to go into there. I'm going to take this and I'm going to pull it up to about the center there. And then as you can see, it curves and it comes out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to turn my view and I'm going to hit E to extrude. I'm going to come out. And I don't care how much right now. This is what I've got. Now this is going to be curved, and so is this. So I'm going to select those 2 points and Shift Control B, and I'm going to pull 1, 2, 3. And get a nice curve. I mean, I'm not exactly following this, but that's going to be fine like that. Right away, we are going to convert that to a curve. I'll look from the front, come to the curve dialog box under Geometry and under Bevel. And I'm going to pull this up until I get the approximate thickness that I had before. Shade smooth. And I'm going to do Control 1 for now. And we have that. Okay, let's start making some of these other pieces. Now, some of them are repeated. This one isn't, and we could do that pretty easily here. And the way I would probably do that is I will take these 2 points here, Shift D and P to break it out. We now have another curve here. I will increase the depth, the diameter. And then I will come in and I will take this piece and pull it down to about there. This piece to about there. I can always widen this later if I want to. I'm going to come up to the top of the curves and I'm going to choose maybe 3 for the resolution. And then I'm going to convert this to a mesh. Now it's a mesh. Take this E and S and just pull it in. This E and S and just pull it in. Now I'm going to bevel these edges. Shift Alt and click the edges. And I don't really need to be in wireframe. I'm just going to do this. Something like that. Okay, let's see how she's looking. Alright, so we had that. There's a little bolt or something on the end there, so let's see. Now, do I have subdivision on this? I don't, so that's fine. I might put one on, we'll see. I'm going to Shift D and duplicate that, pull it out, P to break it out, F to make a face, rotate Y 90, scale it down, and we may position this a little bit better in a bit on the diagram, may not. Let's see. If I was to come back to this curve, make it a little thicker like this, and then come over here and scale Shift Z to make it a little wider. Maybe I'd like that better, I don't know. Alright, at any rate, let's take this and let's extrude back, but delete that back face. And 3, select that face and bevel it, Control B. I only need like probably 1 or 2 segments. And then we'll shade smooth. Push it in like that. And if you want, you could do Control 1 on that. I'll just do it for the heck of it. I might need to scale this in the X a little bit to come out. Let's make it a bit more visible. Alright, so we have that so far. Let's make sure that we're saving. I called it Wacky Lamp, as you can see up here. Wacky Lamp. This piece and this piece is the same, but the thread is where? The thread is actually on the pipe part, so it's just a wider cylinder into a smaller cylinder. I know it looks like it's a continuation of that, but it isn't. So we can do that. I'm just thinking about reusing stuff. Shift D, pull it out. P to break it out. Now I have that. Okay, I'm in edit mode. I'm going to rotate Y 90 and pull this up. Something like that. Let's extrude it out to here, and then take this one, and I'll go into wireframe, E and S, pull it down until I pretty much match the diameter of E, and just push it in. Now, one thing we need to think about. When I have thread going into another object, what I generally like to do is this. And I don't know how big I want this hole yet, so I'm just going to do that. I do that kind of a thing. All right, and then I bevel. So grab these edges. And I probably just need 1 because I am going to Control 1 or Control 2. Actually, I've got subdivision on there. Okay, now I'm going to bring an edge loop down here to tighten that up a bit. And there is that piece, and it doesn't have thread on it. That's on the pipe and on the wheel. So we're just going to leave that like that, unless I decide to bring one more here. Okay, so with that done, I'll set the origin of geometry on that. Shift D. I'm going to pull it over here. I'm going to go into edit mode, and I'm going to rotate Z 180. And I will now have that piece done as well. One thing I should do is go into edit mode for everything and Alt N, recalculate outside in case any of my polys were flipped, and save. I'm just looking at this and realizing I'm going to want to bevel this edge here, and that's going to help with the visibility of that hole as well a little bit. And this one, I need to turn the subdivision back on, and so we need to work on this because this is not yet what I want. Control plus, I'm going to pull it down some more, and then I am going to throw in one more edge loop like that. Now it's a bit more defined. In fact, I might dissolve that edge and see. I might want a slightly smoother transition. Okay, we have those pieces. What else do we need that's easy? Now we're going to move on to this piece, I think, and then we'll do that. I'll show you how to do that. All right, so I'm going to bring in a whole new circle. How about that? Make sure it's 18 vertices. Yeah, I'm going to go to there. And come up, and we'll, no, maybe I will come to there. We'll do that. Extrude and scale. Doesn't matter too much. Now again, this one has thread on the bottom, but doesn't on the top. And so I'm going to press E and S, and I'll come in like this. And then I'm going to extrude down a little ways. And it might need to be a little wider. Scale Shift Z. Okay. Okay, at this point, I think I will extrude down, scale it in. I guess I'll put an edge there. Let's go ahead and bevel this. I'll put a couple there, and just adjust this. I'm going to scale this Shift Z, make it a bit wider like that. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to bevel that. And let's do Control 2, shade smooth. And I think this one. Yeah, this one I'm going to Control B, pull. I want just a top edge and a bottom edge, like that. E and Alt S, and push up again. I'll need an edge loop down here to tighten that up. Let me just look here, and I'll put an edge right there. That's good enough. Okay. I may grab all of these and pull them up. You make whatever shape you want. Take this and GG. Okay, let's drop some edge loops. One here, here, up here, and here. That might be okay unless we really want to make this sharper, which we might. Do something like that. And down here we got to do the thread stuff. Okay, so on a wireframe, let's shut that off for now. Let's pull this up actually a little bit, and then I'm going to extrude down a ways like this, into this piece. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to roll my mouse up for three edge loops. Control B and pull till I get spaces, however big you want. Now, if you want, you can do them, numerical way. E and Alt S, and I'm going to pull to get some thread. What looks like thread on there, sort of. This part will be covered, so I'm not going to worry about that. It's safe. So we're going to do that piece in a minute because it's a little bit weird. So let's just carry on and do this. Let's see what that is. Okay, so the thread is here now. Is that too sharp? I don't think so. I think it's just the angle I was looking at it. Oh, did I shut that? I shut off that. That's why. There we go. Okay. To do this, we're going to borrow one of these circles. Might as well. P to break it out. Go back in edit mode and 1 for vertex. Narrow it down. Come here. E. Come up to... Oh, I'll put the edge loop right there. E to extrude it. Come up and scale it in. And actually, we're going to bevel this right now. Maybe I'll use that as the space. Let's see. How good would that be? Let's just go with that. Let's come up. And then we're going to go, because this piece here, there's a little bolt here in this, what looks like steering wheel, that comes down with the thread. So this one is just going to come in and down. And obviously we're not looking in wireframe, but there it is. Okay. And then I'll go ahead and back in the wireframe. I'll shut that off. And now we're going to come in. So you see, I can't see. That's why I like to do it in vertex. That's okay though. I'm going to push into this one. And then we can adjust the diameter of this in a bit. I'll go ahead and I'll bevel this here. It doesn't really matter how much. I just need like 1 because it's going to have a subdivision on it. And that's going to be okay. I might need to bring an edge loop down. And I will in a bit. And an edge loop up like this. And shade smooth. Okay, and we'll tighten this up in a bit. But let's do the thread on this. Okay, so I'm going to roll my mouse up 3 times again. Control B. I want just spaces, and they're not all going to be uniform across all pieces. I'm going to push. And that's okay. All right. At this point, if I care that much, I'll shut off the subdivision, come in here, Shift Alt and click those faces, and Control plus a couple times. And then I will scale Shift Z, scale Shift Z, and pull it in. Doesn't have to be too tight. I'm going to turn that back on, and it'll sort of fit in there. Okay, now, so this one comes up. Now, this is a little bit weird here, so we're going to do this and this, and we'll bring an edge loop maybe up here. So we have a little rim there, and that will connect to that stuff, which we'll do in a bit. I'm just looking at this. It didn't look straight to me. I don't know. Maybe it still isn't. Doesn't matter. It can be any shape you want it to be, I suppose. All right. Let's start with this pipe thing. Actually, just before, let's do this. There's a little ring there. I'm just going to drop it. I don't have to do that, do I? I'll just take one of these again. Shift D and pull it up. Scale it out. I'm going to break it out. Yeah, all right, I'll put it here. Extrude up. Shut that off for the moment. I'm going to take this E and S and pull it in. Select this E and S and pull it in. And take both of these edges now and Control B and do quite a big bevel like that. So they're close to touching. I'm almost kind of looking for like a rectangle there, rectangle, rectangle like that. And now as I look at it, I realize I do not want it round, so I'm going to delete which ones. I'm going to scale these in the Z. That'll flatten it out a bit, like that. And we'll have that piece there. Okay, good. Good, good, good. It's time to do this guy, I think. So, yeah. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to bring in a cube and scale it down a bit. And I'm just going to G, I'm just going to pull it over here. All right, back into object mode. Control 2. Shade smooth. Apply. All right, so I got this guy. I'm going to actually have to move him down so we can get to him. In fact, I'm going to focus on him. 7 to look from the top and go in. Face selection, number 3. C for paint select. Select those 4. Control plus. Now, I think the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to I to inset, pull it in a little bit, right click, loop tools, circle, scale it in a bit more, and then I'm going to delete those faces. And then I'm going to shift alt and click here, pull it up a little bit, and then I'm going to extrude. Control 1 for another subdivision, and we'll have this so far. Let's go back and look at this diagram here. I'm going to try to sort of get him roughly in position. We're obviously going to be making some changes to this. For example, this is not going to go up so high, and we're going to scale this and get it to be as good as we can. Okay, I need the other side now. Slash key. Control 3. In fact, before I do that, maybe I'll take this. Let's try scale Z 0 and scale it into it. Makes it a little bit nicer. Okay, Control 3, here we go. This. Out one more. I to inset a little bit. Loop tool, circle, scale it in. Let's try this time extruding out, deleting those faces, scale X 0 to straighten them. Let's see how we're doing. Okay, now I obviously don't have this the exact same size. But let's try this. Let's try this. E and S. E. Come up around that. Let's come back here. Okay. I'm going to Control plus and I'm going to scale Shift X and bring it down a little narrower. E and S. E. Now this one has threads, so I'm going to E and S, come in. Let's look from the front again and see how much. E. I'm going to pull it right in. We'll come back to that in a bit. Well, I'm going to drag an edge just to make it look a little bit better. A couple of edges. E and S, come in and come down. Now, It's turned out a little bit different than that one. And I'm going to see if I can, let's try. That. You know, that's just the way it is. I'm happy with the shape. It's an interesting shape. So just throw some edge loops in here and say, hey, that's the way it's supposed to be. It's weird. All right, that's okay though. And that's a circle. Okay, so let's do this. Let's make this a little bit narrower here. Box select there. I'll go back in solid. And Control plus a few times. I just want to get down to about there. I'm going to scale Shift Z. Okay, now I just want to straighten that out a bit. Okay, so that's okay like that. And then I'll come in here and we'll Shift Alt and click these faces. Then I will scale Shift Z and just come in a little bit tighter and then bring an edge loop to make it a bit sharper. And we'll have that. If we really wanted, we could put one under here. But no, it's more the same. Let's put an edge loop down here. And then take this piece and focus on it. And maybe grab this and pull it out a bit. And then do some thread on there. So roll up 3, Control B, give it a nice space. E and Alt S, and I'm going to push out. You know what? Those are a bit big. And I want to get 2 of them showing. So I'm just going to do this. Or try to get 2 showing. I'll do that. Control B. E and Alt S, and I'll push. That's probably all right. Yeah, all right. And I mean, if you want to be throwing in edge loops, you can tighten this stuff all up if you think it's going to show like that. Actually, what I'll do, instead of doing that, is I want these a little closer, so I'm just going to grab here. I'm just going to pull them in like that, and I'll box select here, and I'll pull this one in. And then we might see a little bit more of it. It might be a little bit more convincing. Let's put on the cavity shader at this point and start to admire our work. Oh, it's not. I just think I should do this. I just feel like it needed it. All right, so let's come up here and make sure something is selected. Shift S, cursor selected. Bring our 3D cursor there. And let's bring in a torus this time. Let's go for, okay, I'm going to do 12 and 6. We're going to do Control 2. And we're also going to take this and let's turn that off for a moment. And this, I'm going to Control B. And I'm going to look in wireframe, and I'm going to scale in the Z. And that's going to be all right for what I want. Except I might a bit more round. No, that's okay like that. Unless I do that on the inside as well. Scale in the Z, and then pinch them in, and it becomes a little round, more rounded. Let's make sure we save that. I actually may not want it that round. I'll take it back. I'm going to scale Z. I'm going to push them out. I want a bit more. Yeah, all right, so that done, I'm going to select that, Shift S, cursor to selected, and I'm going to bring in let's try it this way. Let's try a circle with 8 vertices. I want 4 things coming into the middle. You'll see what I mean in a second here. Let's try it. Let's just do it that way. I'm going to hide that. Okay, so let's see what I'm going to do here. What am I thinking here? I'm thinking, let's come in like this, first of all. Yeah. And then let's just get rid of 4 of these. Alt-H, yeah, okay. Okay, let's grab these edges. Let's look from the front. So we're gonna pull them down. We can't exactly see what's going on, but we'll do something like that. And maybe we use solidify. I don't know. Let's try it. Give this some thickness like this, and maybe we'll apply that. Let's focus on this, and let's get rid of some faces. And so it's the front faces and the back faces. We want to get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's bring that back for the moment, and we're going to bevel these. So I'm going to bevel these by hand. So I'm just going to grab all the top edges and all the bottom edges. Yes. I think I got all that I need. Control B, pull. 1 maybe is probably enough. Shade smooth. And then I can adjust maybe where I want these if they don't stick out. Could try that. And I hope let's select all of these. And I'm gonna S the scale a bit more. All right, anyways. And then I was thinking I would bring in a circle again, but we'll go back to our 18. Realize I'm not looking at the diagram exactly. I can't really tell much, so what I got here is I'm gonna have to make a face and put it about there for now, and then let's just extrude down through these things like that. Okay, now we'll go back to the diagram. Okay, I just need to select that face. Actually, I may have that flipped, I'm not sure. Okay, let's do that. Come to about there. I will go back in the wireframe in 1. Let's go E and S and come in, and E, push down. So we'll do the thread on that. And this thing here, I'm just going to Control B, give it some nice roundness, like that. And we'll bevel this edge here. I just need like 1. I'll probably put a subdivision, 1 or 2. Drag an edge loop up, and let's focus on that because we got to get rid of this bottom face. And let's try just like doing 3. Maybe I'll even move them up like that. Control B, pull, roll back to 0. E and Alt S, push to make the threads. And we got that. Let's do a little thing on the top here, just like an inset. Come in, an inset. And drag an edge loop to here, like that. Yeah, kind of on the diagram. And then we'll adjust the diameter of this thing. So let's focus on those, the slash key. And what do I have on this? I might want to use a similar number of subdivisions. I'm going to use 2. Why not? So any low poly people are running out of oxygen right now. Shut that off though. Shift Alt and click that. I'll turn it back on. Control plus. Actually, I don't need it. Just to there. I'm going to scale Shift Z, pull it in just a bit more snug, like that. Slash key. Now, I'm not thrilled with the shape of this guy. Am I? Scale the Z. In actual fact, it's probably fine for me. You know, I'm just playing around with it till you get what you like. Maybe it does need an edge loop down there. So that's going to come up. Go on here. Now, I'm going to turn it which way? Which way am I turning that? Okay, with the wide angle, I'll rotate Z 90 minus. Okay. I want to get that on here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, Shift S, cursor to select, and I'm going to take this, set the origin to the 3D cursor, and then set the geometry origin, and that's an easier way of doing it. So is this what I want? That piece is going to go on, and then we're going to get that. Okay, so first of all, we're going to pull this back. I'm going to pull that back just to here for now. And then we're going to take one of these, and that's going to come this way, and the thread goes in. So let's take this, Shift D. I'll just do this for now. Okay, let's come in. The thread goes in, so we're going to rotate X 90. And we'll do the same thing. We'll set the origin to the 3D cursor and set the geometry origin. That'll always bring it close. The thread's going to go into there. Right? I'm going to have one of these, and then we're going to have that guy again. So let's just keep moving on this. Alright, that's going to turn, rotate X 180 first of all, and then rotate Z 90 minus. And then we'll do the same thing. Set the origin 3D cursor, set the geometry to origin, and then push this out. No, not quite this time. So we'll just do it this way. I'll just get a sense for this, how far out we would want this to come. So I'm going to, let's see, this one, this piece, this piece, this piece. I'm going to bring this back a little ways like that, and then I'm going to bring this in, and then I'm going to bring this in, and do it from there. And again, this whole thing will be rotated back in a while. Okay, let's come in here and grab a circle here, Shift D, pull it down, scale it out, really to about the diameter of the main part. P to break it out. So I got that. I'm going to bring it out to here. I'm going to extrude up to here, maybe to here. And then I think I will have to make a face. Let's turn off the subdivision for now. And then I'm going to bevel like this. Nice big round guy. Like that. Then I'm going to grab this and wireframe. E and S, and I'm going to pull it in. E to extrude, come up, E and S, E, and come up, and that actually goes into there. This piece really fits down there. So I'm a little off the diagram here. I'll come back to that in a bit. All right, back to here. I'm going to wireframe. E and S, E, E and S, E, scale it in. And then this is a separate piece, a separate lens, so I'm going to go E and S, come in a little ways. And then I'm going to extrude it up like that. Just going to leave it like that. Let's take it though and Alt-N, recalculate outside in case some of my polys were flipped. And let's just bevel some of these edges. I'll just bevel that one, just with one, because I'll be putting on subdivision like that. Let's focus just on this and get rid of this top face. And I'll convert shade smooth. And bring an edge loop down here. Bring an edge loop in here. Okay. Bring an edge loop up here and here. An edge loop up here. I'm going to make this 2, not 1. I'm going to bring an edge loop down here. Down here. And in here. Like that. I'm going to roll my mouse up 2 or 3 times. Control B, roll back to 0. E and Alt-S, and I'm going to push to make the thread simulation. Bring everything back. And we have that. We're getting close. We are getting close. I'm not going to finish it all this time around. Let's put that to 2. We'll leave a little bit for next time. In fact, maybe that's a good place to end it. Let's just double check our face orientation. Yeah, you see these are flipped. And so is this. Okay. So this is what we have so far. There's still a bit more to put on it, but the basic idea is going to be once it's modeled and ready to go, we're going to come in here and we're going to select a little bit of this and bring the 3D cursor there and switch this to 3D cursor. And then I'm going to take, I'm just going to hide this for the moment. And I'm going to hide that for the moment. I'm going to select everything, move. I'm going to just make this a collection and call this top. So I can select it very easily. Alt-H will bring that stuff back, but we'll hide that one. All right, I'm going to take this this top and look from the side with the 3D cursor there, and I can just rotate this and move it a little bit, and it's going to be like that with some light projecting out of it. Okay, so that's what we're basically going for here. All right, so that is going to be it for the moment. We'll see you in the next part as we finish up the modeling. Thanks for watching.